Hmm. Joe, how's it going? Hello, Nick. I I'm honestly at a loss right now. I am absolutely I'm just stunned. Um, just because of who he was, what he was, what he was doing, what he was trying to do. Um, try not to get too political on the channel. In all fairness, like I tweeted before, we have leaders, we have politicians, and they're almost going out of their way to screw the people over, and we even have proof of their wrongdoing, and no one's feet is ever held to the fire, no one's ever held accountable. It's just no big deal. And here we have this young man who I mean, what was he doing? He was going to college campuses, and he was just, speaking to these kids, and he was gruesomely, gruesomely taken out. It's ironic that his voice was his biggest weapon, and it was an instant one. It was an instant one shot right through the throat, and ironically, where the voice is. In front of his wife and kids. Yep. Man was 31 years old. As you know, I recently had a birthday. I'm about 7 years older than Charlie. And, he has done more than I have at 38. His wife, his kids. This was not something that was deserved. The video I know is floating around. Fair warning, it is extremely graphic. So I would definitely try to keep your kids or whatever out of the room if you're going to pull it up. I mean, the man literally would just go to campuses, and it was basically just telling people to, open their minds, pay attention to what's going on. And, the problem is you have a lot of people celebrating this, and, that's Probably because even literally in his dying moments, this man is, there were videos immediately circulating on X from, like MSNBC and whatnot, and, they were blaming him for speaking, right? Think about that. They were blaming him for speaking and saying what he was saying, using that as the catalyst, right, to try to justify what happened. Oh, he brought it on himself almost. And let me tell you something. Unless you're saying and preaching something that is like unbelievably wicked, I think we can all agree that, a lot of words, to speak our minds, to speak the truth in some people's eyes, I don't see how that is, quote unquote, like welcoming this violence into your life. And, again, it wasn't just a random shot. It wasn't, it didn't seem like an emotional, kid or younger person who, just grabbed a firearm and, just started charging at him, like emptying the mag on him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a fit of rage. It wasn't like an emotional breakdown. This was carefully calculated. First they said about 100 yards away, then I heard about 200 yards away from a building, right? Yet again, another building, right? I mean, you got this guy, Charlie Kirk, showing up to speak to the campus. You have thousands of students all around. And, just some person happened to make it up on a building again with a rifle. And, we remember what happened with President Trump, and, a lot of people saying, they don't think that was real, but either way, it was a split second, and you can see that it was going to be the same, essentially same thing, right, with that pink missed shot on Trump that they unfortunately landed today on Mr. Charlie Kirk. So these were calculated, these were fatally calculated shots. And that should be obvious to pretty much everybody. Right? Someone randomly went on the roof at the rally, popped off one or two shots. It was going to be direct headshot, pink mist on the president. President happened to turn, so it didn't materialize. And again, like I said, Charlie Kirk, all the man did. Oh my God, speaking about this guy in the past tense. All this man did was try to talk to people, man. And again, again, it wasn't emotional, right? Because that's what I mean. If someone like really aggravated you and you were in that building and you had the rifle, like, I don't know, right? If you were emotionally invested and went through with that action, I don't know realistically if you would only get off one shot, if you know what I mean. Like, even if you nailed the first shot, right? Like, if you're going through with it and you're about to pull this trigger and this is real, this is happening, you're doing this. You wouldn't be one and done. I'm telling you. In my opinion anyway, I know I'm saying it as a fact, but I am, 99% confident that more shots would have rang out. And again, the fact that they were remaining patient And you can see right before it happened, right, he was kind of like leaning forward and leaning back in his chair. He was reaching for the mic, speaking, putting it down, right, sitting back and then leaning back forward. So you had to have a lot of patience. And apparently, once he remained still for a second, that's when it happened. And yeah, I mean, of course, when I saw the video, I was hoping and praying for the best, but it was too direct. Yeah, Jose, welcome. I'm mad myself. The world is messed up. Deploy, welcome. How can we function if we can't even have a conversation about ideas? It's true. It's true. I mean, the man was literally just talking to people. And he literally got executed just now in front of thousands of people. Point is that Democrats act on emotions, not fundamental. I've been saying that. The Democrats, the liberals, these young people, what they don't understand is their emotions are being triggered and attacked. And, you know, I know there's a lot of topics in politics that people could agree or disagree, but, you know, even something like the immigration issue, you know, you would have, like, the Republicans, like just talking to people straight up, like, yo, man, like, look at this chart, and you can see how, you know, like, the immigrants started pouring in, and, you know, there's too many coming too quickly, and we can't keep track of them. A lot of them are, you know, they're coming here, they're hanging out, and then boom, they're, you know, attacking people or whatever. And you're just showing them the data, you're showing them the statistics and the graphs and the facts. And they don't want to accept it. And then you turn on, you know, the other side TV channel. And what are they talking about? Are they talking about facts? Are they talking about statistics? No. Oh, you know, Trump is going after these immigrants. Oh, he's attacking Americans. This should make you mad. Oh, Trump's going after these people, right? He's a racist, right? It's all emotional. It is all emotional triggering. That's why I don't care what anyone says. It is 100% fact that Republicans are out here, like, looking at data. They're seeing, you know, how it was under someone like Biden. They're seeing how it was under someone like Trump. And that's why in 2024, a lot of people were like, you know what? Trump's a better guy for the job. We got to get Trump back in there. And meanwhile, the other side is just very emotional. Very emotional. Even now, like the way they're talking up Gavin Newsom. You know, I tweeted it every day when I would see tweets about Gavin Newsom saying, oh, he should run for president, blah, blah, blah. The man is in charge of one of the biggest, most important states we have, technically, California. He let half of it burn to the ground, and the other half is full of used syringes, homeless, mentally ill people who grab and attack pedestrians walking down the street, and of course, human feces everywhere. And we know about the app now where you can track where the human feces are so you can try to avoid it on the streets of California, right? So that man who cannot properly operate California is now being pushed to basically govern 49 more states, right? So he couldn't handle one, but they're pushing him as the front runner to lead 50 states. Even though we couldn't handle one. And that again is what I mean, right? They are backing someone like him strictly because he may be a good enough bullshit artist to, I assume, beat J.D. Vance in a few years. Right? Even though, as I just said, lost half his state to wildfires, the rest is covered with crazy homeless and feces and syringes. Right? That's what I mean. They don't look at those facts and the data and say, you know what? This guy freaking sucks. Why are we even talking about this guy? Right? Instead of responding like that, they turn around and say, you know what? The guy's got a D next to his name. He'll probably get more votes than Kamala Harris. Yeah, let's put him on the ticket. This is legit how people are thinking. And that's why, with all due respect to them, not to be closed-minded, but I mean, at this point, if you're on the other side and you're really cheering on someone like Gavin Newsom, then, I mean, we have absolutely nothing in common. It's not even worth wasting breath speaking to you, trying to, like, reorient your mind, because you are way too far gone. Southern, how we doing? It is a very negative day today. Seeing how moral acts and ideals are being normalized. It's easy to see we are in the end times. I agree with that 100%. World demise in play, sad to see. Yeah, they're pushing, like I said, they're pushing someone like Newsom, and again, it's all emotional. It's all you know, and I really hate to talk politics, but Kamala Harris, I mean, first of all, you had Biden. Even though a lot of people were like, oh, mentally declining, you know, Biden was like, you know, yeah, I want to do it. You know, I want to do it. I'm okay. You know, I'm on the ticket. I'm the guy. And they just kind of pushed him out, put her in. And again, you mention the facts and the statistics to these people. And you say, hey, listen, you know, did you like support Kamala Harris? And, you know, they say no. Because no one did, right? And you re-mention to them, like, hey, listen, remember when you all had the Democratic primary? And we were seeing, you know, who are the couple of people you might be looking at? Yeah. She didn't get, like, one vote, right? So that means out of everyone else on stage, you all, the Democratic voters, supported practically everyone else over her. And then they completely disregard how you feel, and they just shove her in there, put her on the ticket, and then they voted for her. Like, why would you vote? Honestly, I mean, if I was a Democrat, even if I hated Donald Trump, if you did that with my candidate, I would more than likely not even vote. I would be offended. I would be offended. You're just throwing someone who no one asked for just in the spotlight. And again, why was it done? Literally identity politics. I don't care what anyone else says to me. A woman of color, right? That was the selling point. That was literally the selling point. And people are talking about how bad she was and the poor decision she made and the fact that she can't answer, you know, a question with a straight up answer. And that was all pushed away. And what was being pushed on the liberal side of media? The emotions. Oh, this could be a groundbreaking change in American history. You can be part of voting for the first woman of color, right? It's not a situation where it's like, yo, let me tell you how awesome this woman did, what she did, you know, in the last 6 months and how she's going to be great for the next 4 years. No, there was no debate, no argument like that. Because there was nothing to say. They're literally taking the worst of the worst. And they're trying to emotionally tap into millions of Americans and have them sway the vote in their favor. Because if you're really stupid enough to look at what happened to California and then think that this guy's the right guy for the job and all the states are going to be fine if he's president, you got a better shot of seeing Jesus. Okay? I mean, that is simple logic and common sense. If you can't handle one state, it is literally impossible, not improbable, it is impossible for you to handle 49 more. So, even if somehow he was the best bullshit artist in the world and got 70-80% of the Americans to sway their votes for him, this guy is a far cry from the right man for the job. Said an interesting fact in Discord one day before 9/11. Yes, Once again, we remind you one day before the anniversary of 9/11, and all of a sudden our friend Charlie Kirk has been taken from us. Our prayers are with him, his wife, his 2 young children. Again, the man was only 31 years old, and just wanted to talk to college kids and just try to open their minds, change their way of thinking. Oh, man, that's wild. This is really wild that this even happened. I still can't wrap my head around this. Literally cannot wrap my head around this. Yeah, no, I had to, I just had to jump on. I don't know. Just wanted to, freaking world is upside down and so divisive about every little thing. I don't know. Even if it's only 10, 12 of us in here, we just come together for a few moments. That man did nothing wrong. That man did nothing. I don't care if you disagree with what he said. Again, someone mentioned, oh, he was on the side of Israel or whatever. You have to remember, again, a lot of these people, just like on the liberal side, a lot of these people, whether we may agree or disagree with the administration's decision, sometimes they just blindly follow the administration, and, it's understandable if you fully believe, they have your best interest at heart. I still think, honestly, this whole Israel conflict, I think there's something else going on that we are not aware of. There are things going on that we are not aware of, but, I understand that basically, America's stance was that they, stand with Israel. So, I guess Charlie Kirk went down that road as well. I mean, Ben Shapiro, we know what side he's on, but when Donnie wants to do the same in New York, yeah, I'm very glad I'm not in the city anymore. Yeah, of course, had to come together. We've become so numb to school shootings. I know other people are mentioning that. As crass and as crude as it may sound, believe it or not, I think the unfortunate Charlie Kirk incident takes precedence because of what it stands for. Because of what it stands for. We have a Bill of Rights here in this country. James Madison was a genius. And the very first one, freedom of speech, freedom of press, the freedom of free-flowing ideas. And that's all he was doing. He wasn't out there trying to attack people. He wasn't out there saying, and again, unfortunately, we've had people on the left come out and just say straight up, like, oh, if you see MAGA people, attack, surround them, make their lives uncomfortable, right? You remember all those videos? And here you have a guy, I mean, he was out there with his bottle of water, fold-out table, sitting in a chair, just talking to these kids, answering questions, letting them know that, everything you're fed on the news and on social media isn't always exactly, how it is and what's going on. And, you really have to, pay attention and try to look at it differently and try to find out, if we're pushing a bill through, like who could benefit from it, like, you know what I mean? And for that, he was executed. He was executed. And again, as quick as his pulse may have been taken from him, I'm pretty sure it was a very unfortunate and gruesome and torturous way to go. Laying there just in total shock, essentially drowning and choking. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think they saw he was extremely effective. They saw that even after the general elections, he's still out there talking to people. And I guess they feared that his influence was too great. Because again, you have some of these liberals and some of these Democrats, they go and they speak and they say much more wild shit. And I've never seen anyone bust a cap on one of them. And this guy's over here like, don't just get sucked into the dystopian, business world and bullshit wing of America. He was out there like reminding people like, hey, we got a greater purpose, you guys should be, kind to each other and you should be looking for husbands and wives and, we should be settling down, we should be having children, we have to, go back to the right way of thinking. And he was brutally executed in front of thousands of onlookers who were standing there, it looked like, on a beautiful day, and they were just looking for some information. They were looking to communicate, they were looking for a little engagement. And that's what they just witnessed. God, country, and family, absolutely. 100%. Suspect in custody reported by the FBI. Well, I can't trust the FBI. This guy's out here saying, don't buy into the rat race, remember, have a family, start a family, have kids, they're a blessing, you're going to thank me, it's a beautiful thing. And what do? They execute that man. And security, yeah, no, the security, again, it looks like there's like one or two people at least on each side of him, and it looked like that was implemented a while ago, and I'm sure those guys are basically there to make sure, again, if someone gets emotional, or if someone's screaming at him from the mic, and then they, try to like run at him and punch him or something, right? That's what the security is there for. And it looked like, again, there was one or two people to his left and to his right at the table. And, again, a private security, again, they're not like the Secret Service, right? When we had the Trump rally and whatnot, I really don't think they show up way ahead of time and sweep the area and, and do the whole layout like the Secret Service does. So, they're just there just in case if something happens or someone comes charging at him, they're there to protect him. And, you can see it. Everyone was just standing around. Charlie's sitting in his chair. listening to someone ask a question. Ironically, it was about shootings, I believe. I think it was about like trans shootings. And as we said, this was definitely premeditated, definitely calculated. One clean shot right through the trachea, right through the voice box, if you will, right through his windpipe. Our voice is our biggest weapon. It's not witty little facts that we absorb from books or videos. It's not the stock market. Because people don't realize that none of this is the way it is or gets to where it is without the very First Amendment. And the fact that millions of men and women before us stood up in the face of that tyranny. And they insisted on making that change and doing this the right way, doing this a different way. And that's why someone like Charlie Kirk is, I'm not going to say was, because his voice is going to live on, and he will continue to change the minds of young and older people, hopefully. I will not speak about him in the past tense, because he is absolutely still here. And I don't even remember what I was saying. Just feels so upside down right now. Well, basically what I was saying was he was the voice who was actually reaching some people, and he was making a change, and a lot of people said he was responsible for Trump's victory. So perhaps the influence was so great that the decision was to execute. Again, they executed this poor man. So the decision, I'm assuming, was to execute him before midterm elections and before the shift of Democrats to Republicans got too far out of proportion. Because I still say, if we completely eliminated like BS news narratives on channels like CNN, or if we held people liable for their posts on places like X, where you can't just come out and say, oh yeah, he's a racist, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, if they weren't being attacked emotionally, as I said earlier, then I truly think, in my opinion, about 70 to 80% possibly of the country would be voting Republican. It would be few and far between to find a Democrat voter. Because I still say, if you think about it, Democrat voters should be, senior citizens. If the Democrats, of course, are pushing for more benefits, right? More Social Security benefits, then I can understand if you're like 70 years old, retired, you're like, nah, I gotta vote Democrat because, they're gonna up my Social Security. It's like, all right, I can understand that. And on the flip side as well, if you're, on maybe like disability or something like that, if you truly need the government's assistance, then I can understand if you vote Democrat, right? However, that really isn't the bulk of the country, if you really look at it. And that's why I say, like, all these young up-and-coming kids, like, in college, who, you know, might get a part-time job and they're going to class, like, they should want lower taxes, right? They should want, like, less regulations and whatnot. They should want, you know, the stock market to climb up. They should want interest rates to come down so that in a few years, hopefully, as they build up some cash, they can afford to, you know, maybe buy a home for themselves. All people in their 30s, 40s, 50s who are running small, medium, large businesses, they technically want, you know, legal, qualified employees. They don't want to have to hire a bunch of random people to meet quotas. They want to hire the best of the best. Again, things like payroll taxes, all of those things they want lower, right? Interest rates they want lower, so that if they have to go to the bank to get a loan, their rates are lower. And that's what I mean. Like 70, 80% of this country should be voting Republican based on the platforms of the recent candidates. So, again, I'll go out on a limb. I don't even care if the channel gets shut down at this point, but I'll go out on a limb and say that this was absolutely a calculated execution of our poor friend, Mr. Charlie Kirk. I don't care what anyone says. I'll take that to the grave. I will hold my head high, scream it from a mountaintop. They continue to push these narratives in the mainstream media, saying everyone's a racist, everyone's a white supremacist, right? And they can't do anything about it because they know technically this is like not, again, like it's not real, right? It was like an emotional headline made up, right? It's not factual, it's not real. So if there was really something that was, you know, illegal or something, they would have taken the action that is probably in their power to do so, right? And they would have gotten rid of these people. But it's simply emotional accusations. And that's why, again, they use their influence, right? They don't go out and try to bust a cap on someone or attack someone, right? That's not what they do. They're there to be known and to use their influence to try to make everyone else emotional and push their buttons so that one day something like this happens. Quote unquote, you know, some angry, emotional person who felt they were, you know, saving the world by taking out a white supremacist like Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, the guy's, you know, going to college campuses telling people to, you know, buckle down, start a family, have some kids. All right, those are the people that somehow don't hang around for too long, do they? People who preach love and peace. Somehow we always end up putting them in the ground. Many years before their time. People like Dr. King, John Lennon. All you need is love. Someone took him out. Charlie Kirk out here saying, don't trust the mainstream media. Think for yourselves. Look into these things. Don't just go down the road and just take the narrative that they're giving you, you know. Think for yourself. Think outside the box. And took him out now in extraordinarily gruesome fashion. Basically trying, in my opinion, to complete shock and awe against the American people. Basically showing that it, like, you know, if you're like this guy, if you think like this guy, if you want to go out and talk to young people like this guy and help other people change their minds, you will be potentially executed in spectacular fashion. That is the goal, once again, of the carefully calculated execution of our friend Charlie Kirk, who unfortunately has passed away just a few hours ago. If the shot on Trump landed, again, we would have seen that pink mist, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Mr. JFK. We would have seen that same type of reaction. And, you know, you may not have gotten another candidate like a Trump who, you know, just wanted to stand up, wanted to get America back on track. He doesn't want to hear about the freaking lobbyists or whatever bullshit anyone's talking about. He's just looking at things, you know, this is wrong, we have to make it right. You know, this is right, we have to support this and, you know, nurture it, cherish it. And again, they tried to execute him as well. Because again, it's the shock and awe, right? It's the shock and awe. Go back and think of what President Kennedy was talking about and what he was trying to do leading up to the attempt on his life. And then look at how it happened. And then look at how long it took for others to start even re-mentioning the few things he was speaking about. That's why I say it's all done by design. I believe, again, I believe we are truly in a fight between good and evil. I truly truly believe that. You know, because you're just any random story, right? I think there was the video on X of like the woman who also, again, got like executed on the street or something like that. I don't know if you guys heard about that. But yeah, she was like shot, and then like 10 seconds later, she literally, like, the gun like pointed right over her head while she was slumped on the ground, and boom, like executed right there. And, you know, then I think I saw on X that like the DA in PA like let him go or something, release the guy. And that's what I mean, right? That's what I mean. Right there, in that moment, you had, again, whether it was justified or not, seriously doubt it, but I guess we can give him the benefit of the doubt. If it was justified or not, right, you had this guy who literally just executed this woman in broad daylight, mind you, right? With a bunch of witnesses. You got everyone standing across the street recording this guy ducking behind other, parked cars while he's literally executing this woman on the sidewalk. And you're telling me that you're not viewing this as what it is, and you're just going to let this guy go, or you're going to play it down to a misdemeanor or whatever bullshit they said, right? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Right there in that moment, you cannot change my mind that we are in a blatant battle of good versus evil. Because we know that any normal, good person wouldn't want anyone else to be taken out like that, right? They would see it was gruesome. They would see, yes, you committed a heinous crime. You broke the law. And yeah, whether it's, again, the death penalty or jail, whatever it is, at the end of the day, right? You did something heinous. You are guilty. End of story. But no. Oh yeah, we're gonna bring it down to a misdemeanor. You know, it wasn't first degree or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That right there, that action is showing you good versus evil. Because a good person, as they say, lock them up, throw away the key. An evil person would play it down. Now, unfortunately, potentially giving that person another opportunity to do it again. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6:12. Thanks be to God. Like I said, it's all common sense. And people think it's left versus right, black versus white. It's got nothing to do with any of it. We all know there's good black people, there's good Asian people, there's good Brazilian people, there's good people everywhere. And there's also really shitty and bad people everywhere. And this is what it comes down to. $3.5 million posts for this poor young man who was just executed for literally no reason. Once again, a bullet has silenced the most eloquent truth teller of an era. Pray for Erica and the children. He's 31 years old. Found the woman he cares about, felt confident enough to start a family with. 2 very young kids, videos of them at the beach, hanging out, doing all the dad things, right? When we know there's so many freaking men out there who run away from their responsibilities, leave their offspring to grow up without a father, a role model, someone to lead them down the right path. And they turn out to become, 16-year-old animals and only get worse. And here you have a man who, always smiling, again, he became popular, he's got his wife, he's got his kids, and, what's he doing? He's still out there, setting up at campuses, pounding the pavement. This man did not deserve this. Shouldn't have died, but he spread a lot of negativity. You say so. And this is what grinds my gears, right? If a man like Charlie Kirk was spreading negativity, then by the transitive property, you should be listening to no person on the left. Because they're out here calling for frickin' another black and white civil war. And they're calling everyone a white supremacist, and they want to censor speech. See the clip of MSNBC person saying this could have been his supporter shooting a gun in the air? Yeah, in Utah? Come on. That's what I mean right there. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Right, now we have this schmuck popping in talking about his negativity. What was negative, bro? What was so negative about this man that his jugular was ripped out of his throat? Please enlighten us about this negativity. Because in my opinion, shit like that should be reserved to like treasonous asshole insiders and politicians who, you know, sold our trade secrets or gave up military information, something like that. Right? Those are the people, in my opinion, who should have to suffer that type of exit of this life. Please watch it. Watch what? Watch what? How about Bill Gates's views on vaccinating and poisoning everybody and buying up all the farmland, yet somehow telling us we shouldn't eat meat anymore and talking about depopulation? See what I mean? I think shit like that is much more quote unquote negative, as you put it, as compared to what this man may have said about empathy. Okay? Think you're reaching, buddy. And this is what I mean. This is what makes me laugh about people. This is truly what makes me laugh about people. If he's negative, then there's a list of millions of people before this man who we should watch live in Times Square be dissolved in a vat of acid. Do you understand? Yeah, you think it's wrong. Sure, buddy. Quote, he shouldn't have died, but he spread a lot of negativity. Trying to keep a leg to stand on for yourself there, huh? Got people out here telling 4-year-old boys to cut off their genitals. You know, but Charlie Kirk out here spread a lot of negativity. End quote. This is why I say we need to bring back mental institutions. Because if you truly think that way, we have an issue. I believe California now recently passed a law that they can like take your child away if they have gender dysphoria and you disagree or whatever, right? They can now like take your child from you at the age of like 5. This is true. This is true. And remember, this happened in California, of course, Gavin Newsom's territory, right? That's what they're doing over there. And other people are calling for him to be president. Are you out of your frickin' mind? Are you out of your mind? You tried to justify it, is why me and a dozen of other people just jumped down your throat. With your claim of, quote, spread a lot of negativity. I mean, I literally just gave you an example of people out here trying to cut off 4-year-olds' genitals. But apparently Charlie Kirk was the one that had to be taken out. Yeah, you look into it. Go ahead. Have a good time. If you're just joining us, we are sending out our prayers to Charlie Kirk, his wife, his 2 young children. 31 years old, the man was taken from us for talking to college students. That was his crime, so to speak. He was speaking to college students at campuses across the country. So he apparently was viewed as a threat. Not quite sure the average person, even if they disagree with him, would view him as a threat. Right? They might not listen to him, they might block him. I don't know if the average person would view him as a threat. And again, as we said, whether he was a threat or not many people deserve that conclusion to their life. We need stricter gun policy. You have officially convinced me you are an idiot. You have officially convinced me that. Hey everybody, listen to the idiot. The idiot's on. Shout out my buddy George Costanza. Oh Lord, makes me laugh. Just makes me laugh, man. This is what I mean. See how the bullshit narratives now start to come out from the left? Oh, this happened because we need to take away the guns. This happened because, oh, he's a white supremacist, right? He was asking for it. Think about these narratives that are now coming out of the left side. Seriously. Seriously. And again, we're saying left versus right, but we know it's really good versus evil, right? So I'll reiterate. Look at the narratives coming out of the evil side. Right, I just corrected myself, Blake. You're the evil side, not the left side. The evil side wants to infringe more on your Second Amendment, which of course blatantly states in black and white, clear as crystal, that it shall not be infringed, as opposed to looking in the mirror, calling up your congressman, tweeting at CNN right now, saying, hey, stop this bullshit rhetoric, because people are literally once a month going up on a rooftop and just targeting people. So I can't have a gun because you're crazy. uh, at minimum, I think having an aptitude test or owning a gun is fine. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, Nick, thanks for stopping by, showing your support. Have a good evening, brother. Give my best to your friends, your family. Just remember, these people also, right? We have to jump through all these hoops for a firearm, but yet somehow we don't need ID to vote. Right? Think about that. Think about that. Mental health test. People make me laugh, man. Right? You're demanding mental health tests for firearm owners. Yet there's people who are okay with taking 4-year-olds away from their parents and giving them puberty blockers and cutting off their genitals. Okay? This is wild. Hey, well, this is the argument. We're talking about good versus evil, brother. You know, we need mental health checks for firearms, but if a 5-year-old boy wants to be a girl, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no mental capacity issue with that conclusion, right? I'm talking about that side, baby. I'm talking about what they support, what they stand for. Right? Again, the facts, right? Simply talking about the facts. If implementing mental tests could have saved a life, why would we not do it? There are people currently stabbing and attacking other people who should be locked up in mental institutions, and we shut them down. And the evil side thinks we should keep them closed. There's really no need to even try to attempt to get into a political argument here because we know what the other side stands for. The fact that the narrative is guns are the problem from this experience is absolutely bonkers. All right, Deploy. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate the support. Have a good night. Rest in peace, Mr. Charlie Kirk.
That you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
There you go. Him in his own words. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. That is a prudent deal. Do you know what prudent means? It is rational. The man who just got his life taken from him by these evil firearms has literally come out before and said it is worth even him having his life on the line so that we can have the Second Amendment, so that those rights shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. In his own words. Talk about perfect timing. Take away guns from people who shouldn't have them. Well, then I should have the right to take votes away from people who don't deserve them. Hey Lou, how's it going? We're taking our time here. We're taking some moments today on the live stream to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Kirk family, his wife, his children, as this man was gruesomely executed in front of a live audience of thousands of people for simply speaking to college students. Now they tell us black versus white. Little 14-year-old black kid, look at that. Told me it didn't matter how young I was. I'd fight alongside him. Attended every conference. Never be the same without him. Right? The person who was preaching, hey, listen, you gotta return to God, start a family, have children. That man was gruesomely executed. We don't let those people live long lives, do we? Yeah, Blake, whatever you say, buddy, save it for Twitter. Fucking label this guy a white supremacist every day for years. And then a carefully calculated execution takes place. And you say he was negative and you think guns are the problem. Or whatever, the person shouldn't have had a gun, whatever you think. Video of the Ukrainian woman in Charlotte on the train makes me literally sick to my stomach. So many things wrong with that. Yeah. And also it was on X that they searched the Associated Press website, I believe, and there was like 72,000 mentions of George Floyd, and there were 0 mentions about the Ukrainian woman being taken out on the train. 0 mentions. 0. Once again, good versus evil. Absolutely wild. Up, trending. Evil. Enjoy dinners with Charlie, but worried for his safety. Dr. Phil. Whatever you say, Blake. The solution, I feel, was to do what Charlie was doing. To go out and actually educate these young up-and-coming people, get them out of the BS narratives and the bullshit mainstream media, and have them actually look to the Constitution and read what it actually says and see what our rights are, what we're supposed to stand for, what we're supposed to believe in. And they executed him. As I said before, if people actually understood money and taxes and how politics work, I made my case before that like 80% of the country should be Republican leaning. But in general, both sides should be, against millions of illegals coming into the country. You should be against big tech and politicians trying to censor our speech. Well, because you spoke like one, buddy. What the hell? Got close to a 90% fucking win rate. This guy's telling me to be smart. To run fucking circles around you. As I said, the evil side seems to be aligning more with the left side, so that's why a lot of people are just saying simply good versus evil, or left versus right. Don't ever tell me to be smart. Sharp as a tack. I prove it every day. I was always smiling, even when people were bitching at him,
Sword died by
calling
the
him a
sword.
racist.
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights. By the sword died by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
Good versus evil.
Challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
There you go.
Now, and this
I am ready to go.
is what comes across my news feed.
I am ready to go. 31 years old. 31 years old. Yeah, I heard what he just said. We have to come together and we have to share ideas and
I'd
talk
just like
about
to
it
say,
before it gets violent. And it didn't look like that person who pulled the trigger wanted to get up to the microphone and have a conversation and talk about issues. It seemed like they were convinced that he was evil, he was a white supremacist or whatever, so they took the shot. No, he said, if we stop talking about ideas, we're going to see the other side as evil. It was only a 40-second clip. You didn't understand it all? If we watched the 60-minute documentary, I'd understand if you missed a few points.
prayers for Charlie Kirk and his family.
Well, first of all, he said the left, and once again, I'll reiterate for the nth time, once again, if it's good versus evil, the leftists are consistently siding on the evil side. It's very simple. Black and white, clear as crystal.
And Democrats
Just remember, you supposedly voted for Trump, right? But you're in here fighting me tooth and nail about how I'm labeling lefties, right? But you voted for Trump, remember? People make me laugh. Guy went to church, started a family.
And this is exactly what happens when the media, when the woke mind virus.
And just remember, my thoughts are my own, right? So just because I'm here scrolling on X seeing what people are saying doesn't mean I'm always going to just blindly agree with everything I read. Like I said, we engaged in the ideas and I explained to you exactly what's going on. And you're over here like, yo, be careful, don't be talking about those lefties. Like, that's what I mean. So, like, I don't know, you're too far gone, maybe. There's no saving you. Don't know what to say. Like I said, you supposedly voted for Trump, right? So you would probably lean more towards these being lefty people that probably set this up and took the shot. Like I said, you want to go have a debate with someone, jump on X here and talk to one of these people, bro. Blake Rivers, the white knight of the chat. Protecting all lefties. Lower that half mast. Like I said, you were talking about taking guns away. I was talking about taking votes away. I don't know, you never spoke to that. Trying to call me out on every little fucking thing I say. Thinking this is your chat. Like I give a fuck about what you're saying. People are crazy. Sugar, you lost and confused. I'm mad because an American got executed for being an American. That's why I'm mad. Is that okay with you? When illegal immigrants were being deported that broke the law and shouldn't have even been here, we had people online crying, "Oh, let them stay! Oh, I hate Trump, he's a racist." Right? Did you ask them why they're so mad? And that was bullshit compared to this, right? Again, we're talking about someone who was simply speaking his mind, speaking to people, and was executed. Yeah, I believe I have a right to be mad, yeah.
Charlie Kirk is being remembered tonight as a hugely influential, charismatic, and engaging individual committed to civil discourse and the open exchange of ideas. Correspondent Mark Meredith looks back at the life of Charlie Kirk. Good evening, Mark.
Brett, good evening to you. Charlie Kirk's death is being called a watershed moment or even a turning point for the country. The 31-year-old political activist had a massive following, both online and in the corridors of power here in Washington.
And they say whoever shoots first loses.
Household name in conservative politics,
The evil side shot first. And obviously, being that Charlie Kirk was on the right, it could probably be deduced that it wasn't someone on the right side, right?
Conservative, loved America, loved the values that our country stood for, and I never understood why you'd want to deviate from that.
Kirk thought he'd end up at West Point, the Army's military academy, but after being denied admission, he chose to start something for himself.
It's that old adage, one door closes, another door opens. Of course, it's correct.
Save it for X, brother.
In 2012, Turning Point USA was born. What started small later became a political juggernaut, a conservative youth activist organization now operating on 3,500 high school and college campuses. Kirk explained what drove him in his first
Save it for X, brother.
13 years ago.
A lot of kids are feeling the effects of what we like to call, with the Washington economy, with a lot of debt, plummeting small business, with higher regulation and high taxes.
As the Tea Party movement evolved, Turning Point USA grew. So did its influence.
The white knight of the chat.
Turning Point events became more ornate.
Save it for X, brother.
Atmosphere with strobe lights, pyrotechnics, and thousands of young conservatives in attendance. Kirk endorsed then-candidate Donald Trump in 2016 and later worked to re-elect him in 2020.
I believe it's imperative we get the president reelected. In fact, I think he's going to get reelected.
As Trump later regrouped for 2024, Kirk continued to build an empire and a family. He married his wife, Erica, in 2021 and later became a dad of 2. Trump himself thanked Kirk for staying loyal amid a
Blake sounds like Molly out here.
And I want to express my tremendous gratitude to Charlie Kirk. He's really an amazing guy.
With Trump now back in power, Kirk remained active, speaking out constantly about the conservative movement.
There's a revival happening in this country right now.
Tonight, tributes continue to pour in for a man many believe helped change the course of U.S. political history. And those tributes...
It's crazy, I think, too, right? They just put him on South Park. Everybody was laughing about that. Take him out. Yeah, we're in a cult, yeah. Whatever you say, libtard. Libtard says what? Libtard says what? This guy quoting Matthew, telling everyone to find Jesus. What a negative prick, am I right? Piece of shit. World needs Jesus. Negative piece of shit. There you go. Attacked the NFL star for simply reposting one of Charlie Kirk's fucking posts. But yeah, he's the negative one. Yeah. He was the evil one. God and country. He was 100% committed. Uh, 31 years old. You peep? What do you mean, you peep?
Years old.
Almost
Two
silence.
children is 31 years old. Two children is 31 years old.
Father of two, 31 years old.
I'm not a crying man. But I just can't believe this. Yeah, I can't believe it, man. We fight so much on this app. We fight so much on this internet over just frivolous things that's so unimportant, and there are people out here trying to kill us, and we still try to kill each other. They just shot this man in front of the whole world. I can't even look at the camera, bro, because I'm gonna get too emotional about this, bro, but we just gotta stick together, man. That man is an American hero. If they can do that to him, they can do that to anyone, and they will. This is one of the most significant assassination attempts since MLK. This man changed America in ways that he never gets the credit for. I mean, we can credit us even having Gen Z, millennials, and any generation after completely to Charlie Kirk. Thanks to him. This man is an American hero and a God-fearing man. And we all might have some distant differences, but it's time to let them go. It's time to let our differences go. Because I regret for the last things that we say about each other. Not be a positivity, love, and motivating each other to be good, motivating each other to stay safe. But to play into drama, to play into beef, just for clicks, it ain't worth it, man. This is real life. This internet stuff, it ain't worth it. I'm praying for this man. I don't even know why I'm making this video. I feel so defeated. I'm just praying. I mean, I love all of y'all. We just got to stick together. We have to stick together, pray for that man family. We got to be there for him. We got to let our differences aside. We got to. God bless everyone.
A lone wolf leftist group attack. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of evil. Instantly reposting what we just read before. Laughing about it. This aged beautifully.
Cleveland. He was so young. Okay, he was like 20-something years old then, so happy, so full of life. He had big plans. How he was going to galvanize all the kids on campuses to vote Republican, wake them up to communism. And they killed him today with a high-powered rifle. Classic stuff, just like crooks in Pennsylvania, running around the roof, nobody's doing anything. And they shot him and killed him. And the left's celebrating it. And you know, all the Democrats calling for violence. Just everything else is just sick filth. But, you know, Charlie Kirk really is a hero. And a family man and somebody that had a real vision. And the left and the globalists have really screwed up because, look, there's safety in numbers. And I was honest today in videos I posted. I said, I don't do a bunch of public events. I don't go to colleges because I guarantee you, if I went out for a year, 10, 15 events, I'll get shot dead. And I'm not scared of dying, but I can digitally and cyber level, you know, really counter the globalist. And I remember telling people, I think I've even said it on air, I said, man, I'm surprised Charlie Kirk's not dead. Because the left can't deal with this. And he knew what he was doing. He put himself out there on the front lines, and he got millions of votes. Millions of votes for Trump. And people that bitch and complain about Trump say he's not getting the whole agenda done quick enough or whatever. He's getting so much done. It's amazing. It doesn't matter. It's about the team he brought forward and about the fact that we know Kamala Harris and Democrats are absolute criminal, pedophile enablers. And it's about the RFK Juniors, the Tulsi Gabbards, and the Charlie Kirks. You know, the left knew they couldn't attack Charlie Kirk frontally, so they kind of put out stories about this and that. He wasn't hardcore enough. He wasn't better enough. And a lot of people picked it up. I just said, listen, he's getting people registered to vote Republican. And they're night and day to Democrats. They're not perfect. They're night and day. So he wasn't afraid to face evil. He wasn't afraid to put his life on the line. And I'm not the guy to act tough. Charlie Kirk had more courage than me. I've been honest about this on air. And I wouldn't even call it courage because I'm willing to die. I do a lot of events and go out and get attacked. And I'm just saying, you go out on a regular basis and you're an Alex Jones or Charlie Kirk around the country for years, I mean, somebody's going to shoot at you. And I've had my security and other security firms just say, Jones, you shouldn't even do it when I do it. I have to do it when I have to, when there's a lockdown or some incredible border tyranny and they're smuggling kids and I went and confronted cartels, you know, all that. Stop me. I mean, I'll do what I have to. But I also understand as a brain trust, I've got to kind of stay alive. And Charlie Kirk knew that, but he decided to, Christ-like, put it all on the line. And man, like watching that Ukrainian woman bleed to death and nobody help her. And then watching Charlie get hit by that high-powered rifle in the neck with such a blast wave, it makes his whole shirt go crazy. So I thought it was hitting the chest. I'm just like, damn, that's a man right there, man. That's a fucking man right there. He was smart. He knew it was coming. But he was so energetic and so positive. And we all say, this person won for Trump, that person won, Elon did it, I did it, Trump did it. Without all this team, we would have done it. Without Charlie Kirk, it wouldn't happen. And so the left's coming with their violence. They're coming with more attacks. And we can imagine the hell it'll be if we let them win and if we submit to them. So we're not scared of their attacks. And I guess the answer is we all have to go out. You know, in fact, I'm going to announce I'm going to go into a nationwide tour of universities for Charlie. I think we can all do it. We have to take his example like Obi-Wan Kenobi in front of Darth Vader. And I was strategic about it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to do better over here. But you know what? That's a cop-out. Because if one guy will do it and get killed and intimidates us, they win. No, we all have to peacefully hit the streets. We all have to speak out at city councils, colleges. Everybody's got to be Charlie Kirk now, like with Spartacus. It's a true story, not just in the famous Charlie Kirk movie. The Romans are getting ready to crucify 10,000 plus people because they would tell him who Spartacus is. And he finally steps forward and goes, I'm Spartacus. And everybody else goes, no, I'm Spartacus. We're all Charlie Kirk now. That's what it's all about. So I promise I'm doing it. And I know I've got to put it, I don't care. You know, if I go out and some leftist guns me down on the thing, it's an honor. It'll just be a bigger example of people because you guys have summoned the whirlwind. And that's what it comes down to. Because they can shut down the internet and censor us all tomorrow, but they can't stop us in the streets. We love you, Charlie. We love your family. We're so proud of you. Think about these bastards. The corporate media covers everything up. They love it. They love death. They just scum. We're going to get them. We're going to save this country and the world together. Because people like Charlie Kirk's courage. We love you, Charlie. God bless you.
From all of us, and just yeah, I know that it's somewhat object of mockery to say thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers for his family. They need it from all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're not the radical type, but if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
And we will.
Yeah, I know that it's somewhat object.
This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Of mockery to say thoughts and prayers.
Blake is obviously a leftist. He forgot the fact that Elon Musk had to spend over $40 billion to restore free speech in a virtual world from the leftists.
Behave well.
I love you.
I love you too. You don't just get to get everything you want. Okay. Well, you have to be on very good behavior to get such a thing like this. Okay? Hold on. Hold on. You have to behave well.
Did you earn it?
I know, but what did you do for it? Have you been a good girl? Okay, I'll get it for you.
I love you.
I love you too.
What a prick that guy
The
was.
West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yeah. I mean, we do all remember the narrative of media and everybody basically shitting on the Catholic white male. That was clear as crystal as well, regardless of what any brainwashed lefty in the chat may say in response to that. We all saw it, again, crystal clear, day in, day out, for years and years and years. Someone like Charlie Kirk, someone like myself, who was raised that way. He is the enemy. I am the enemy. We are the enemy. Oh, man. I'm going to stretch my legs for a minute. Definitely going to come back and continue to keep Charlie Kirk in our thoughts and continue to show our respect to him. Be right back. Muted or what? Muted or what? There. I don't know. I always gotta hit that twice lately. Blake, you still here? Yeah, let's be kind and respectful as we saw this man's thorax get ripped out by a high caliber freaking round. Still am in awe. I truly still can't believe that this happened. There's gonna be a dead jerk. Negative prick that guy is. Good old calm. Yep. Oh, more? I think he should be forced to carry the bullet in his body. Bullet has a right to be there because it's a gift from God. There you go.
Divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful action. But following up on what was just said,
Brought it on himself. So hateful. 31 years old. Executed in front of thousands. Because he was hateful.
I don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Talk to me about.
Oh, shit. That's funny. That is funny. Not even an hour. Mm.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk.
Can't do that right now.
This Charlie Kirk death really freaking bothers me. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I'm sending prayers to Charlie Kirk's family, his wife, his children, everyone that know and love him, all of Turning Point USA, everyone that got any type of love for that guy. I feel some type of way about this one, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because I've always put God and family before anything. I just never thought that you can be killed for it. When you represent good and you try to stop people from doing the bullshit that's bringing them down to damnation, you are unalive for it. Not only that, but I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. And I saw a young black lady bragging about how she liked to just suck dick and don't want none of the guys that she giving head to try to be in a relationship with her. She just want to get the head and some money and be gone. And she's from D.C. I'm from D.C. And I got up on TikTok and I tried to guide this young lady as a father, as a concerned human being. And I said, you need to have more respect for yourself because the whole point of dating someone is so that you can get married. I'm trying to push the whole nuclear family thing so that people can understand the whole point of courting someone. Do you know that TikTok accused me of bullying someone? Now fast forward to today. Charlie Kirk gets shot in the neck. And there are people dancing on his grave already, including but not limited to Don Lemon. And all of their videos are still up. All of these ignorant motherfuckers are still up for making fun of somebody who pushed God and family over everything. Excuse my French. I am a bilingual Christian, and I'm trying to get better with this. But this really upsets me, man. This guy goes to universities, and he involved young people into real debates respectfully so that he can hear them out and then give them a piece of wisdom so that they can go about their day and think about their positions. Not force feed them positions, but think about, like, I'm going to offer you another way of thinking about this. And somebody kills him. That will be ingrained in these young people's minds for the rest of their lives. And there are people on TikTok just celebrating it. And TikTok is not banning any one of these videos, any one of these content creators. None of them are getting guideline violations. They are being celebrated for it. This is the BS I'm talking about, man. This is the BS. We need to dive deeper into this Bible, man. We need to make sure that we pray against these things. The Democrat Party are evil. They are evil human beings. They don't want you to stop the violence. They don't want you to speak against it. They don't want you to speak for families. They don't want you to speak for Christ. They are just evil. They just want to be left alone while we do our demonic works. While we have all the abortions we want, leave us alone. While in our blue cities and our kids keep on killing each other over and over and over again, Trump, leave us alone. My son suggested that I need to go outside more in D.C. with my camera, with my phone and interview people and have these conversations with people in the city. You know what I said? If it weren't so dangerous, I might. But in my mind, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm from this area. I can get out there and talk to these people. They will hear me. I'm from Southeast. I still speak their language. I still go in those communities. But seeing this, what happened today, this breaks my heart, man. This breaks my... I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to damn say. They are celebrating this. All over that whole, what's the name of it? The Blue app that all the Democrats left X and went to. Now they over there celebrating. I don't know what to damn say, man. My apologies for being passionate and offensive to anybody, but guys, we need to pray against these spirits and principalities in high places that are going against us. Christianity is being attacked all across the world more than any other spirituality, religion that you can think of. They don't want to see us do well. They don't want unity. They don't want harmony. They don't want love. They just want darkness. They want to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do when they want to do it with no remorse. They don't want to answer to anybody. I'm almost at the point like the lady I put on. I posted a video the other day where the lady was like, "Dear Mr. President, if they want to continue to kill each other, fuck them." I'm there now.
Look at this white supremacist.
Well, I would say you need to understand the biblical role of the father. When it comes to your child, you are tasked to protect them both physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and really outside the house and obviously in other ways as well. Quality time is everything. You're not above any of the duties or the tasks or the roles. And it comes with a lot of responsibilities. And so, again, I speak very directly to young men. Erica's the, young woman outreach part of this. But young men need to be talked this way, actually, because they say, oh, I want to be a dad. Like, really? Are you earning enough money? Have you done the right work? Have you asked for a raise, asked for promotion, got up earlier, stayed up later to make sure your family does not have any financial pressures or issues? Because here's the one thing I have found. Once you have kids, there is this primal thing that comes into you where if you think you have worked hard before, when you have to go feed a child and provide for a family, you are willing to go to the ends of the earth and push yourself in ways that you never thought possible. Well, I would say you need to understand the
Phil, back with you, sadly with an update. Charlie Kirk has been pronounced dead after being shot at an event at Utah Valley University. I reported earlier that he had been struck by one shot at this event while he was taking questions from students, apparently shot in the neck and taken immediately to a hospital where life-saving efforts were made, but sadly, my friend and colleague, father and husband, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, has passed away at the hands of a shooter. He has been pronounced dead in Utah. Charlie Kirk, 31 years of age, has been pronounced dead. I can barely believe I'm saying these words. If you're wondering how this happened, Charlie was reportedly doing what he does, letting people speak, letting people ask questions at this event where many were trying to keep him from coming and sharing. A report from former Representative Jason Chavetz, a Utah Republican who was on site with his family, reports that Charlie was answering a question. Second question. First question was something about religion. Second question, he said he was answering a question about transgender shooters when the single shot rang out. Chavetz said that he took the first question, and when he got to the second question, which was about 30 minutes into his presentation, I'm reading a quote now, 2:30 local time, and the question was about transgender shooters, mass killings versus people that weren't transgender. And when that happened, when that question came out, going to have the interaction, one shot, Chavez continued. I was watching Charlie. I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backward into his left.
Damn, man. $31.
I have no idea what the right words are right now to describe what has happened today to, in my opinion, one of the greatest Americans ever. You can disagree with me on that, but I've said it for the last couple of years that I saw the difference Charlie Kirk was making in going around to college campuses to talk to the youth, to talk to the future of America, to have a conversation, which is what so many people are unwilling and are afraid to do, but Charlie wasn't. And he went around these college campuses and he let kids speak, let them say what was on their mind, give their opinion, and then he gave his with facts as well. He did what so many people refuse to do. He is the reason why my kids decided they wanted to have an interest in politics and at least be educated. Most importantly, he was such a man of God. Charlie Kirk is one of the reasons that I'm no longer afraid to wear this. I didn't for such a long time, and he gave me the courage to do so. That's what he led with, his faith in God, his love for his wife, his love for his children, and that was his goal, to make this country a better place for his kids and yours and mine. I am heartbroken, I am devastated, and I am livid. What they want is for us to have fear and to go hide because of things like this. And maybe in some ways, I don't know, maybe we should. We have to do things differently, certainly. But Charlie knew the risk. Every day, he had security detail with him. And sometimes nothing can protect us from evil. I know this too, though. Charlie would not want us to go hide and to be quiet and to run away from the evil, from the people that hate us, who happen to be the same people who preach about diversity of thought and tolerance. And look, they kill him because they don't like his opinions. And they don't like the fact that he was winning. Charlie Kirk already won. It is our loss and the world's loss today. But man, God's plan for Charlie, look what he did in 31 short years. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for everything, for giving up your life for us. And Erica, you have millions praying for you. I love you, we love you, and guess what? We're not going away. We're gonna be here for Charlie.
Is what comes across my news feed. And I'd just like to say, prayers for Charlie Kirk and his family. And Democrats, woke people, and liberals, fuck you. So I'm in the gym.
Yep.
That it's somewhat.
Because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times in the Constitution. It doesn't refer to God at all. And it only articulates the structure of government.
So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. You asked about common law. Well, let's go to 3 principles of common law: presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All 3 are biblical principles. So, and all wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, which is the idea of blind justice, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal. Neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you are all one in Jesus Christ, which is the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas, but more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal. John Adams famously said the Constitution was only written for a moral and religious people. It was wholly inadequate for the people of any other. The body politic of America was so Christian that our form and structure of government was built for the people that believed in Christ our Lord. One of the reasons we're living through a constitutional crisis is that we no longer have a Christian nation, but we have a Christian form of government, and they're incompatible. So you cannot have liberty if you do not have a Christian population.
Telling you, this is going to be the day that changed everything. People, again, you know, we're jumping right to the end. You know, we're talking Civil War, and again, not exactly far. I'm not exactly sure how far and how fast we may take this, but I think that, you know, I think that there are now thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who are now making it their business to pick up where he left off and let him not be forgotten. So they may have silenced Charlie Kirk, but they just woke up about a million other pissed off motherfuckers that are now ready to go balls to the wall. That's why even I was tweeting earlier when I found out it happened. Like I'm telling you, better pull for this guy, and you better hope he comes through with it. Because now you're gonna have people like me who are gonna step in and take his place. And if you thought Charlie was extreme, I promise, you ain't seen nothing yet. Shout out to Jake Paul. Charlie Kirk got shot for telling the truth. That is literally it. What a mentally sick time we are living through. We need God more than ever. Who knows, maybe he'll get taken out too now for mentioning that. Did everything right. Encouraged proper debate. Still took him out. Here's a picture of our quote-unquote white supremacists. 4 young black guys.
Kirk's death. Watch this.
Bye, Charlie Kirk. Like you said, people getting shot and killed for the Second Amendment is so worth it. I never thought we'd agree on anything. Bye.
I just wanna be part of your symphony.
By the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights. Congratulations to Charlie Kirk for becoming the new poster child for gun awareness and violence.
Leftists.
Yeah, we're all alike. Right? Remember that libtard saying that? We're more alike than we're different. I don't know about you, brother. I don't really have much in common with any of those people.
Sad, we're angry, and we're resolute. And we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged. He was such a beautiful boy. He was an American boy. And he was incredibly positive. He was full of energy and life. And he made politics fun. You see it at his events when things blow up and the music plays. And we haven't had that in a very long time in this country. Every time he did a hit on my show, he would text me afterwards, "Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate having you on."
Yep.
And my daughter loved him. I mean, she's 13 years old. This is a man who touched an entire generation of Americans and electrified them and made them patriots. And this is not a controversial person. This is not a polarizing guy, a divisive person, a firebrand that he's being described as in the media. This is like a guy that you have a barbecue with at your summer house. This is the kind of guy, if you came back with your daughter, you'd say, "Thank God, we got a good one." He's a great athlete. He's a great person. He's a great Christian. You see his family out there. He had his kids not facing the photos because he wanted to protect them, because he knew how evil people were. So when he goes out to these college campuses, he's not provoking anybody. He's like Socrates. He asks questions, and he does it with a smile. And there's nothing controversial about saying socialism is worse than capitalism. Men and women are different. Let's put America first, because that's all he was about, putting America first. And as Greg said, this hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. What are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all of these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going.
Telling you, man, there are going to be a lot of new Charlie Kirks. I am telling you right now.
And loved you so much. Your thoughts tonight?
The Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, took home his servant, Charlie Kirk, to be with him right now in paradise. I don't know why. It is hard to bear, and it is hard to overcome. But this I do know, Laura. Charlie Kirk is a martyr. Charlie Kirk is an American martyr. Charlie Kirk is a Christian martyr. Charlie Kirk gave his life for this country and for his faith. He died as he lived, spreading salt and light to some of the darkest corners of our nation and culture, and living with a full heart. And we must rise up with that same full heart and venerate him and remember him by continuing his work. And that work would be this: to defeat the blackened evil that is overcoming our culture right now and fight it back with truth and good and light. Charlie always had a hopeful heart, and he always had a positive outlook. He is the single most honorable and noble, passionate visionary I have ever known or will ever know. There will never be another one like him. God called home his servant today, and we must all set about the work and the business of honoring Charlie by defeating that evil. God help us. This is America's turning point.
They have woken the beast. I promise you. I promise you. They ain't seen nothing yet.
For those of you leftists and you Democrats who rejoice in the assassination of Charlie Kirk and that he's dead, all I can say is thank you. Thank you, because you gave us a real meaning of what fuck around and find out really means. Because you created, and if you believe that there is only one Charlie Kirk, well, guess what? You just created millions of more. And right now, you're looking at one. Because there will be more and more Charlie Kirks coming at your way. Because our work has just begun. The work at Turning Point has just begun. Because we're not done yet. We ain't nowhere near done. You think Charlie Kirk's death would be the end of Turning Point? You're dead wrong. Because you lit a fire in us. Because now you're going to find out the hard way. And if you want to challenge us, we welcome it. All I can say is to you guys, good luck. You're going to need it. if you have the luck. Because you will never, never take away what is ours. Our freedom, our beliefs in Jesus.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm ready to get it going. Politics by the numbers. All credit to Charlie Kirk. And New York, all of New York has always been red, minus the 5 boroughs, which is pretty much the way even the quote-unquote blue states are. If you look at Georgia, it's all red, except for Atlanta. Right? You look at Texas, it's all red, except for what? Like Dallas and Houston, whatever. All over the place. California, all the farmers, they vote red. They vote red. All the weird people in the cities, they're the ones that vote blue and turn the state blue. Massachusetts, yeah, well, I don't know. They're messed up over there. I don't know what the heck's going on in Massachusetts. And yeah, New York was pretty much always red, and you guys saw, what was it, like a year or two ago, Trump was having his rallies. He was showing up in Queens, he was showing up in the Bronx. There was like hundreds of thousands of people coming out to see him speak, right? Remember how many people showed up in frickin' New Jersey? I mean, the whole area like was just going nuts for him. There were a lot of people, even, you know, those quote-unquote minorities that everyone loves to talk about who are struggling in the cities. Yes, even those people in the boroughs were saying, you know what? It was better under Trump. I've experienced both. Trump was much better. I'm voting for Trump, right? You had people who voted 3, 4, 7 times for Democrats who said, nah, you know what? Trump's the guy for the job. Democrats, I don't know. They lost. I don't know what the party's doing. And of course, we had our friend, may he rest in peace, our friend Charlie Kirk, out there pounding the pavement, trying to open the eyes of young Americans, young college kids who were just got kind of pulled into the rat race. A lot of them are in debt that they may potentially never get out of, to basically be told what to think instead of how to think. That's why when we say it's good versus evil, these are the evils that we're referring to.
Charlie Kirk.
That is true. Everyone was very upset about the commercial. Well, it was promised to him 3,000 years ago. There you go. People just saying dumb shit. But, you know, we're all alike. We're all the same, right? There you go. Wall Street Apes made a new account already. Keep his voice alive by posting every day on this new account dedicated to making sure his voice is still amplified. I'm telling you, he's not going anywhere. And he just gained 1 million carbon copies. I am telling you right now. Assassination culture spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to take out Musk. 55% said the same about Trump. California activists are naming ballot measures. Gion. Left is being whipped into violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election, losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. This is the natural outgrowth of left-wing protest culture, tolerating violence and mayhem for years. Cowardice of local prosecutors and school officials have turned the left into a ticking time bomb. And then he shows up at the Utah campus. He's talking for 20, 30 minutes. He went to field, what, the second question, the third question of the day? Executed. Charlie Kirk coming to my college tomorrow. Quote, I really hope someone evaporates him, literally. So say something big will happen tomorrow. Uh-huh. Yep. But again, you know, the other side, our side, is the violent one. Right? We're the violent side because we support the Second Amendment. That's the issue. Not these people literally coordinating online, trying to get someone to take someone out, right? That's not the party of violence. It's the other side. Said it once, I'll say it again. The great mind of George Carlin. It's all bullshit, folks. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you.
So I would think that that's one of the main reasons they're holding this news conference. So my guess is we're going to see an image of this guy possibly in the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
Oh, they're cheering.
Go
Yep.
to have somebody look at the Fox. Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Right, you heard the cheers. You heard those cheers.
Go clock Eastern. Janet, go.
Clapping, cheering.
Go to
clapping and cheering.
Have somebody look at the Fox. Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
You want to talk about truly disgusting fucking human beings?
What did Trump say? So what did Trump say? Yeah, Trump just said he's dead. Yeah, he just said it. Okay.
And my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife.
Like right now.
Yeah. True social. True social.
Literally clapping and cheering like they're, you know,
You're
Buffalo
still in it.
Bills fans, and
You're
they just
still
scored
in
a
it.
Okay.
touchdown.
Get it up.
Got it. Can someone alert this, Abby or Liam? Or Rob, sorry. I know you're there.
I want to confirm
Okay,
the
it's
people
up.
in the back
Now
row
get the
cheering
Trump
about
statement
Charlie
in
Kirk. There's a
immediately.
police chase in Temple City right now, and that's what they were watching, not
So
Charlie Kirk
Donald
related.
Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead. Wow.
Title change.
Again, unsurprising that
this is for sure
after
confirmed.
what we saw with this video. Can you read the statement, Cameron?
Yes. All right, so Trump just posted this about 4 minutes ago. He said the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth of the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica.
Look at this piece of shit white supremacist.
Is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is, I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality of life?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been born here.
You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture ceases to exist when we don't have unified language. When you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedanism compatible with the teachings of Blackstone? Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Yep. Yep, his whole point was to, civil political discourse, debate in public square. Just wanted to talk to people. So they took him out. No, he's not lying at all. That's simple logic and common sense. Trying to mix oil and vinegar.
The gentlelady from Colorado rise. Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
What a fucking joke. Can't even shut your mouth for 30 seconds for this guy.
The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication.
What a joke this country's become.
The House will be in order.
See, that's what I mean. You don't want someone like me in charge, man. I'm telling you right now, I would have gagged her and dragged her frickin' outside.
Thank you all. The House.
People wanted to shut down all of frickin' society. Frickin' George Floyd. This guy can't get 20 seconds of silence. What a joke. What a joke. Coming in here like a smartass. Frickin' Blake. Well, who's the problem? Why do you always say it's lefties? Because they're the problem. That's it. I'm a simple man. Someone's causing a problem. They're the problem. End of story. And yes, I'm saying they and them and those people. Yes, I'm using that type of language specifically because apparently we're all MAGA, right? It's not that you're a patriot. It's not that you're a constitutionalist. It's not that you're a libertarian. No. None of that. You're just MAGA. You're in that MAGA cult and you're a MAGA fanatic. So yeah, if we're all that person, then they're all those people. That's what makes me laugh, man. A bunch of emotional children walking around, right? And they want to open their mouths. They can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. you fire back and say something. Stop! You shouldn't say that. What's wrong with you? Fucking idiot is saying before. Oh, you sound mad. Yeah. Yeah, I am mad. We had a guy, again, who was going to college campuses, talking to I can't even watch this. Talking to kids, trying to explain how it actually works. And he was executed. I repeat, executed.
Both in the United States and Ukraine for years to come. What do you think the importance of this story is most fundamentally?
This was one of the coldest, most senseless murders I've ever seen. She had no interaction with this guy whatsoever. She was sitting minding her own business, and he just takes out a knife and just decides to stab her. I do say this with some form of just heaviness. I don't like politicizing situations like this, but it just necessitates it because there are so many dynamics at play here. Based on the information evidence we have, the attacker did say, "I got that white girl." The attacker racialized it in his own telling of this situation. And we all know this. Any honest observer of your program knows this, including Van Jones even knows this deep down, which is that, of course, if a random white person on a subway took out a knife and stabbed a black girl senselessly to death, there would be massive media coverage. There would be policy changes. There would be people having to apologize for this. We saw this in George Floyd, and yet, for whatever reason, this situation has not garnered even a fraction of that kind of outrage or backlash.
Yeah, we're starting to see a trend here. You got brave people standing up, saying what the other side doesn't want to hear. And they are literally being shot at.
On August 22nd.
Stephen Crowder, a couple hours ago, CNN's already saying the evil assassination attempt on Charlie Kirk is an example of both sides of today. See what I mean? One side has to risk life and limb to express opinions publicly. One acts with impunity. Well said. Well said, because we have the facts and the proof in the pudding. So that is not an outlandish, radical opinion. That is the facts of life right now. Leaving cruel comments on his wife's post. Now your children have no father. Crying, laughing emojis. We're all alike, right? Isn't that what that schmuckhead said before? We're more alike than we are different. Yeah, I don't know, brother. I don't think this thought in this way entered my mind like that. I'll tell you that much. Charlie Kirk is a tragedy, a sign of the utter desperation and cowardice of those who could not defeat him in argument. Charlie Kirk has been killed not for espousing extremist views, because he didn't. He has been killed for saying things that used to be simple common sense. He's been killed because he had the courage to stand up publicly for reasonable opinions held by millions and millions of ordinary people, both in the U.S. and Britain. The world has a shining new martyr of free speech. For suggesting it was one of his own supporters firing in celebration and inferring he brought it on himself with his opinions confirms everything I've always suspected about the woke left. They're repulsive. Coming from Piers Morgan, I think that's pretty frickin' wild. Because we know some of the crazy crap he's said in the past. So for him to come back and say something like this, I think we can all agree that they definitely crossed the line, if you will. There's only so much that can be said. Mel Gibbs. Nothing short of evil. Cowardly attack on America's very soul. Faith, family, freedom, the right to speak truth, trampled by violence. My blood boils. Justice must be relentless and unforgiving. Right, you had nurses. We saw what? People in the police department celebrating it, saying, oh yeah, karma's a bitch. Absolutely disgusting.
Stick! If anyone around here is gonna be a master debater, it's me! So let's go! Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go! You right there!
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong! Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby! You just hate America and you love abortions. Stick of people's...
I wish we had a leader at the helm right now, right? This one's a moron, obviously, as we know. This is who she is. A Lebanese mom from Jersey. Okay? Probably the very last person I would listen to. But somehow, 1 million followers, right? Oh, I wish we had a leader at the helm right now who's capable of turning the temperature down. Turning the temperature down. Someone capable of compassion. Who, again, was supposedly shot at himself. Someone who can and will say there is no place for political violence in this country ever. Oh, how I wish. Sure, a lot of us are in agreement that this person is what's known as an idiot. I mean, I wished I had a leader who could find his way off a stage, who still had a firm handshake, who, you know, would start speaking about one thing and, like, remember his train of thought and actually come to the conclusion of that thought, right? I mean, I was making a lot of wishes about my leader for those years. And shit just got worse and worse. So for someone on the violent side to say this dumb shit is just laughable at this point. Remember, this is the same side who was blindly following the BLM riots when they were burning down cities and, you know, beaming white people in the head with cans of soup. I mean, you remember that, right? 100% the party of violence. Oh, how I wish I had a leader who could turn the temperature down. It's so laughable how hypocritical these people are, and they don't even realize it.
Charlie Kirk is dead. He got shot at an event that he was hosting in Utah. And I am sad, distraught. In fact, I just cried on my live stream in front of 250,000 people. My goal in
250,000 people this little kid has on his live stream.
this
That's
video
insane.
is to tell you why I feel this way. If you want to end gun violence, it is something that you can never celebrate. It is always disgusting, always vile, and always abhorrent. It should come as no shock to yourself when I tell you that I think Charlie Kirk was a bad person. I've made that very clear.
Man's body's not even cold yet, right? He was a bad person.
Over the last year, but does that mean I think he deserves to lose his life? No. Does that mean I think his 2 young children who were in attendance at the event where he was shot deserve to watch their father die? No. Does that mean I think they deserve to grow up without him? No. Does that mean I think that his wife, who was also there, deserved to lose her husband? No.
This kid needs a haircut.
And honestly, if you answered yes to any of those questions, there's a very clear line drawn between me and you. I don't want your support, and I don't support you either. We as a collective need to end gun violence. And if that phrase is a negotiable for you,
My goodness.
I believe that you're in the wrong.
Who emailed him that script?
if it's a trans shooter, baby, the trans community. So this person here goes to the university. Of course, they, them, and look at what he said yesterday. He says here, Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow. I really hope someone evaporates him, literally. And then he writes, let's just say something big will happen tomorrow.
A little more light coming.
So a trans student is saying this yesterday, and I also find it very, very odd that the person asking the question...
I can't even watch it again to see if that was the shooter.
For a sec, bear with me. But I'm on Twitter, and somebody says, hey, did you hear that Charlie Kirk got shot? And my gut reaction was like, no, I fucking didn't, but I'm excited. Like, I felt this little dopamine spike in me where I'm like, dude, I want to see the video. And then I seen the video real bad, but I still kind of excited from it. Like, oh shit, you know, like I could feel like my muscles tensing. And then I start thinking, man, well, what's going to come from this? Was the shooter black? Was it a liberal? Am I going to get more fun? Am I going to get more violence? Let's burn this motherfucker down. I need some excitement. And then you start thinking, man, like, how the fuck did I become such a sociopath? Like, how am I so disattached from human beings? When people walk down the street, I don't even see people. I just see potential threats and problems. And then I think about, like, this is the last news cycle. We watched a girl get stabbed, murdered on a subway. We're watching little kids get pulled out of buildings because maybe somebody launched a rocket off of it. I don't fucking know why. But we are so desensitized and we're such sociopaths. It's kind of sad. I was walking through a park and there was a homeless guy with a dog, and the dog had a tennis ball in his mouth and dropped it at my feet. And like it was terrible. I wanted to fucking hit the homeless guy and take his dog home. It's like the saddest thing I've seen all day. And I just watched a man get murdered, and that was exciting. And I have to ask myself, like, how did we become a generation of sociopaths? And then I think about the 90s, and I think about the early 2000s, and I think about the second Iraq War, and I think about how the government, you know, linked up with video games to make Call of Duty, and we would stay up until fucking all hours of the night with our friends shooting each other. Guns are cool, war is cool, death is cool. And like slowly they just manipulated us to be sociopathic consumers, and the only thing we want is stuff and things. And it's so sad that we let these people ruin America, and it's like taking the soul from us. They took God from us, they've taken everything from us, and we're just mindless sociopathic consumers. I don't know how to fix it, but I don't know, man. It's sad, it's frustrating, it's just sad.
Yeah.
You want to know why I'm so fucking stoked? Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk. Go ahead, read the latest headlines, and you'll see why I'm so fucking
Yep. We're all alike, like Blake said, right?
Rifle on this dude's dash, and they just handcuffed him. That's his rifle.
Christ is Lord.
Hey, why are you touching my stuff?
Well, the guy's talking about God. That's crazy. Yep. It's a turtle. We're gonna eat her float. People are idiots, I swear.
That's the guy with like the crazy ass takes, right? Or some shit. He be saying some crazy. He be saying some crazy shit, right? Holy shit.
Say?
What the fuck?
See how people think about it? Right, guy's just speaking his mind, saying what everyone basically agreed with for hundreds of years, since the founding of the country, right? Minus like the last 20 years that everything got turned upside down, right? And just look at how, right? Oh, he's got the crazy ass takes, right? He'd be saying some crazy shit. You mean speaking? You mean speaking? We've had a lot of other people like this say some wilder and crazier shit. I'm sure live on stream, right? And he's out here saying, oh, you should, get married and, find a good woman and have some kids. And but he out there saying that crazy shit. Know what I mean?
Don't watch, okay, man. He got assassinated. Shit.
Right, sitting here with your shirt off with a shower cap on, middle of the day. Right? Just saying dumb shit. Somehow getting all these viewers. That's alright. But him out there saying that crazy ass shit. I swear, society is a freaking joke, man.
I swear I'm not happy about I'm not happy about this news. I'm not happy about this news. It's so unfortunate. Can I just send a message to this? Great idea, wrong target. No, but seriously, we're gonna be serious. It's so unfortunate when bad things happen to bad people. Who would have thought the man that made it his whole personality to hate on everybody that didn't look like him and have his same gender, that other people would want to... Y'all see that Trump said that we're gonna have to pray? I hope them prayers do the same thing that they did for slaves, that they did for... No, but seriously, Charlie Kirk, shots and prayers.
Leaking here before, trying to say we're more alike than different. I am worlds apart from that gentleman, I'll tell you that much.
News, Charlie Kirk has been shot at an event in...
He's actively deleting his anti-Charlie Kirk videos because he knows he played a part. I have most of them saved, sent to the FBI.
Oh, no, Harry. You don't get to do this. Buddy boy, you've talked so bad about Charlie Kirk day in and day out. Oh,
yep.
You know, son, it's on your hands. The blood's on your hands, buddy
Yes, sir.
boy. You have done so much propaganda, Harry.
Yep.
You have brainwashed so many people, Harry. And now you're going to turn around and try to act like you're the good guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, you're a devil. You're a Democratic devil. You and your people like CNN and Jolly Good Ginger, all you've done is escalated violence in this country to the point they are hunting us and people are getting shot. Innocent people are getting shot. All Charlie talks about is the family. But no, here's little Harry Sisson, always dividing, always causing the friction. You have made so many people hate Charlie Kirk, and probably that old man that shot him probably listens to you. I guarantee we could go through your following and we'd find him. You snot-nosed little brat, you don't get to do this time. We are not going to allow it. You need to delete your account and get the fuck off TikTok.
Chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher.
He probably made like thousands of trans kids kill. He probably made like thousands of trans kids kill themselves. I literally could not give a fuck. They can get a stepfather.
There you go. Of course, we knew trans people were unaliving themselves significantly, even well before Charlie Kirk picked up a microphone, right? We knew that. We have the data to support that as well. But of course, you say something like that, right? And they label you, they come out with the buzzwords, oh, you're transphobic. No, I'm trying to let you know that if you go through with this, you might end up pretty depressed and, you know, you might take it upon yourself.
There's a video, I can't show it here. He was doing one of his monologue conversations in Utah Valley, and he's just talking and having the conversation, and you hear this pop, and then it just... And they immediately got the guy who apparently did it, and it looks bad. It looks like real bad. The FBI is on their way. Cash Patel himself is headed down there. Here's MSNBC.
His loved ones and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation. Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
The man was just shot in the neck, and it's in full view for everybody to see. That's why nobody watches MSNBC anymore. MSNBC later came out and said, well, we can't really emphasize what this could or could be. Okay, this could have been a supporter just shooting their gun off in celebration, and it was, are you kidding me? Nobody watches you anymore. And I keep checking, and I can't find any updates on any of this, so I don't, it's been about 40 minutes. More to come. I mean, prayers for Charlie, and it's, look, God, what is wrong with you people? Why you let politics get so... We have a mental health problem. This whole fucking country is mentally ill. Damn.
There's a closer footage of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck here as well, where you can oh, he's dead. Oh my God, he's definitely dead. Oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that. Oh my God.
I don't know if it's just me, you guys, but is everybody else taking this hard? I can't even go in the house, like, with my family. Like, we had our own crisis. Like, I am taking this hard because Charlie represents not just, he represents so much to the conservative movement. He is, there's not a person they could have took from us that is more important besides maybe Trump or somebody like that, but that's how important that man is and has been. Just the way he died, you know, doing what he loves, getting shot. For what? For what? What did he do? This is supposed to be America. This is not America. This is not the America I grew up in. It's not. The left has turned this into a scary place for people like me and others that just love our country, right? We're doing the best we can to love God, and Charlie was a man of God, man. The AmFest, he cannot be replaced, and they know this. That's why they came after. That's why he picked Charlie. It's hard for me. I mean, I've never met him. That's how you know when you've impacted the world, when your death makes people who never met you break down like they're your best, like we were sat at the table together. It's a devastating day.
Video that you're going to watch of mine, please listen to the words that are going to come out of my mouth right now. Breaking news, Charlie Kirk, whatever you think about him or not, he has been shot. It is horrific.
Hello, everybody. Okay, I gave him the name White Chocolate. He can say it anytime he wants to.
That's
all
a
right?
fact. He actually did.
Okay, this brother got more soul than a lot of people running around here acting like they brothers. He's a real brother. And before it was cool to stand up and say that you were for this president, he was doing it. And he made sure that he brought a lot of us here, man. I love you guys. White child.
What a white supremacist, huh?
Fascist or a threat to Let's get one thing straight. They didn't murder Charlie Kirk because he was an extremist or a fascist or a threat to democracy or inciting violence or any of the other reasons that they're now trying to put out on X and TikTok and everywhere else. They murdered him because he was effective. He was effective. The man made incredible arguments while at the same time always trying to seek out common humanity. He might have disagreed with arguments, but he didn't hate anyone. And they murdered him. That's what happened. Let's get one thing.
Yep.
Conservative freaks, those little weirdos with podcasts. Just know your necks are on the line. Your necks? No. Your necks. Hello?
Bitch, did you hear Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck?
Actually, no, I'm listening to Man Down by Rihanna.
State of the world getting so bad, I'm gagging over any fucking thing these days.
So, apparently at Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Bitch, I don't even know what to fucking say to that one. Except, you got me fucking gagging. Let this be a lesson.
Over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Huh. Let's see that one more time.
Been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Guy in the white hits the cap.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great. Have been mass shooters over.
Huh. Wow.
Out there. I never thought I'd agree with Democrats, man. Thoughts and prayers aren't enough this time. There needs to be action. I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. You guys ever notice it's one side? It's one side every single time. Do you know what happens when you sit there, CNN, MSNBC, when you sit there and you demonize somebody, you call them a Nazi? Nazis are supposed to be evil. You're literally telling the entire country, that every one of your viewers, everybody that watches you online, that this man, it's okay to kill Nazis, right? You don't like the way he thinks.
Have a good night,
Who's
Luke.
the
Take it
Nazi?
easy. Love to your
You
family.
guys literally
God bless America.
let this man die on your watch. You guys are the one that contributed to this. It was every single one of you, every single one of you that supported anything that they said. Every Democrat, every news channel, anybody that ever said, if you don't think the way we think, this man is a Nazi. This man had 3 children, he was a pastor, he was a father, and he was loved by a bunch of people. You guys killed this man, whether you pulled the trigger yourself. There needs to be action. There needs to be something done. And there needs to be perp walks for this. You guys created a monster. You guys have to deal with it. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
So, the Charlie Kirk nigga just got shot, right? I don't know if that nigga alive or not. The nigga might be dead or some shit. For those of y'all that don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he one of them folk. One of them folk. You know what I'm saying? Debbie talking about how we don't need gun control and all the rest of that shit and all the rest of that blah, blah, blah. Don't with the smile. With the smile. You know the one. This one. Right? So, boom. So, this nigga gets shot. But this is the craziest part to me, right? So, everybody panicking because, oh my God, it's a shooter! Everybody panicking and shit, right? This nigga decides to take his phone out and this nigga...
It's your boy Elder TikTok. There was just a gunfire in Utah.
Everybody panicking because there's an active shooter nearby. And the first... Yo, subscribe to my...
Make sure you subscribe to Elder TikTok on Instagram.
What is the world right now? What is the world right now? A nigga just got shot in his neck. Yo, subscribe to my. Yo, I don't. I can't, son. I can't, bro.
Very, very much so.
Like, why is that exactly?
Jesus saved my life. I'm a sinner, gave my life to Christ, most important decision I ever made.
So you believe the Bible is real?
Yes, I believe the Bible is true and real. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I could give you the technical answer. There's never been an archaeological discovery that has contradicted the truth of the Bible. And then, of course, the wisdom. There is not a truth of the Bible that if you apply to your life does not improve dramatically. And then finally, we have the most accurate and transparent, historically robust account that one can have of the most important figure ever to live in the history of the world, Jesus of Nazareth. And the resurrection is the pinpoint of my belief that Jesus did rise from the grave so that we may live.
What makes Christian mythology real?
So that's not mythology, but that is theology. If Genesis 1:1 and the resurrection is true, anything in the Bible is possible. You're looking at the greatest miracle. The greatest miracle is creation. And then the fact that Jesus rose from the dead. And I say, how do you know that Jesus rose from the dead? Well, show me another historical piece of a story where so many people willingly died a brutal death for a lie. Every single person around him had everything to lose, and yet they went to the absolute death, from Paul to Peter to the half-brother of James, saying that Jesus is Lord, Jesus rose from the dead. Not to mention, if you were going to fake a story, you would not use female witnesses in the ancient world. In the scriptures, it said that the women were the first one to see Jesus Christ. If you're trying to fake a story, you would never do that.
All right, so...
Man, what a piece of shit.
He died? Oh, he died, Chad. Charlie Kirk died. That's sad. For having an opinion about things. Like, the guy went to colleges and was having opinions. Sick world we live in. They gotta kill them. That's the true animal. What?
Let me just put it out here clear. If any of you are making videos on what just happened and him passing away, fuck you. I swear to God, if you guys want to start it, start it. Pretty much what you just did was start it. So
100%.
be on the lookout. Watch behind your shoulders. I swear to God, this is not the time you guys want to be walking the fucking earth with pink hair and attitudes. Go do your LGBTQ queer ass whatever the fuck you gotta do. March your fucking lines, but now you just crossed it. And it's not gonna be good for you. You just took out an amazing fucking person. A father, a husband, a son. The next time somebody decides they want to defend themselves or kill or do this to somebody, I'm gonna cheer it on the entire time. Let's fucking go. If you're supporting that, if you want to do it, right and left wing, let's fucking do it then. Next time one of you motherfuckers are running up on a police officer or somebody else and end up getting killed, just like the rooster, I'm gonna be crowing every fucking morning. Yes!
To get real. Go ahead and be prepared for me to be loud and downright fucking hateful. Any hootie, a 23-year-old legal immigrant from Ukraine named Irina recently lost.
Let's go to this witness on the scene.
A little bit backstage, and I turn and look, and they were arresting a guy by the name of George Zim. Yeah, I know the guy. I don't think he did it. I think they arrested the wrong guy. I think whoever did it was a good shooter, a sharp shooter. It was one shot right directly to the heart, and we need to find out who did this. I think there should be a research completely done that took place hours, maybe a day, before anything went on. Who could be there and pull that trigger and do it? And I don't think it was George Zim. He was poor, broke. He maybe was on medication, a little bit loony boon, maybe a perfect person to pick and say that did it, but I don't think he did it at all.
So at this point, but did you see him taken into custody? Did you see him with any kind of thing in his hand, any device in his hand or anything like that?
Yeah, I saw when they actually put the handcuffs behind his back.
Okay.
I followed them.
All right,
when
we're
they
going to go
took
to
him
Jason
the trooper
Chaffetz.
car.
Actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were
less
afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed
so
in
that's-
violent
that's your-
lynch mobs.
That's your explanation, but I guess
Racial
so, but
terror
black-
permeated
black
American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is
You don't
worse
think
than it has been
that
in the
affected
last 80 years.
the generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just it shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They
You in a room full of white.
Much of a piece of shit Rabbi Shmuley is. Look at this, chat. This dude literally made this tweet, bro. Today, as we witness yet another attempt to silence pro-Israel voices, we are reminded of the constant threats facing Rabbi Shmuley. For years, he has stood boldly for Israel and the Jewish people, yet he has been physically assaulted in Vienna, Miami, Sydney, and even in Times Square. The dangers are real, and they only continue to grow. To ensure safety and his ability to continue his vital work, we urgently need to raise funds for cameras, fencing, and professional security personnel. Without these protections, Rabbi Shmuley and his family remain exposed to unacceptable risks. And he puts a GoFundMe. What? Am I living in a fucking clown world? Are you fucking serious? What the fuck, man? This nigga's retarded. Holy shit, this nigga's retarded. Then he wonders why nobody likes him. Bro, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas, man? Guys, let me show you how much.
Yeah, well, they're allowed to be there, and we don't know if it came from that angle.
You fucking lying. You mean to tell me one of you stupid, retarded motherfuckers started a goddamn GoFundMe for the man that stabbed the lady on the train? Why the fuck he deserve grace? Huh? You bitches staying up for the dumbest shit ever. How the fuck did somebody stab somebody and now he deserve grace because you claim he got mental health? Fuck him! Man, fuck him! Put him under the jail! You bitches stand up for any stupid thing! You bitches are retarded! Pure retarded!
I think Blake needs to see this video.
GoFundMe, I'm gonna bat the fuck out you! I'm gonna choke something out! Debo style! Bitch ass
Debo style.
niggas! Y'all motherfuckers, and you wonder why people look at us so fucking stupid. No, fuck that. You wonder why we in the situations we in. Stupid motherfuckers! We in these same situations we in every motherfucking time because of you stupid motherfuckers. You went over there and you campaigned for a nigga to get the fuck out of jail that's mentally insane and he'll kill you.
Oh, I love it.
And on the shooting in Utah involving Charlie Kirk. A lot of people in Florida have known Charlie through the years. Casey and I have gotten to know him for over a decade. And he's somebody that a lot of people have a great regard for. He's done a lot. And he was shot apparently in a targeted way. And so we're praying for him
100%.
and his family. But I think we also have to reflect on the fact that the way to resolve political disputes is not through violence. And we see increasing levels of political violence in this country. Charlie would go to college campuses and he would articulate views that were very much outside of what most of the professors were offering or what the campus culture was offering. And the way to do that is to ask questions, debate. That's what the Republic is based on. And what happened today, was not just an attack on Charlie personally, but really an attack on the idea that we resolve these things through reasoned debate and elections. And so Casey and I are praying for him and his family, and this is not what we want for our country going forward.
Fucking animals! You liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals! You are so hateful in your hearts to go out and shoot a young man who's never hurted anyone with Christian values, a young, beautiful family, a father, a husband, a friend, a son. You shot him. Why? Because you didn't agree with his politics? Because you didn't agree with his ideology? That's the reason why he deserves to die? You fucking animals!
I agree 100%.
In the backyard of a home right next to UVU campus. Apparently they are looking for another suspect. Maybe another suspect has not been apprehended, and they're actively searching. I'm at a home that is probably about
847 South.
right next to UVU. So
Yes, they're still there. They're
Or people say, wear a bulletproof vest. Again, he got shot in the neck. A bulletproof vest would not have saved Charlie Kirk, okay? Security did not save Charlie Kirk. The only thing that could have potentially saved Charlie Kirk from getting shot in the neck was if our administrations, prior to this one and this one as well, actually had reasonable gun control as a policy provision in the immediate aftermath of, I don't know, 100 other school shootings that took place. This is why I keep responding over and over again to people that go, hey man.
It's amazing how these people really think that the answer is more regulation. It's just laughable. It is just laughable. I mean, we've beefed up regulations on firearms a decent amount in the last several years. So, by your theory, it should be happening far less. Yet it's happening more frequently.
Footage is horrifying. I pulled off on the side of the road to talk about this. What I just witnessed happened.
Quite the shirt here.
Yes, I hope you like it. I just got it done today.
Yeah. Why don't you read the shirt off for everybody?
Oh, my shirt, everybody, my shirt says Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
Clearly
campus.
you're offended.
Actually, I'm not. I find it hilarious. In fact, I'm so important that you have to make a shirt with my name on it.
You seem offended.
I actually think it's awesome that what I've done
Thank
is
you.
I'm living rent-free.
If you like it so much, you want to sign it?
I am living rent-free in so many libs' minds that you have to make merch with my name on it.
Okay.
I should charge you a licensing fee for that.
100%.
For your name?
That's my NIL. I mean, come on, like you got to pay up.
Your name? You're
Yes.
gonna charge me for your name?
Yeah, that's how NIL works. You understand? I'm being like a little lighthearted
Do
and
you want to
sarcastic.
sign it since you like it so much?
No, I don't have to sign it. You already have my name on it, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
This is how you know you're losing. You have to go around being like, F Charlie Kirk. Okay, look great. Good luck. You got quite the shirt.
I don't have to sign it. You got my name on it.
Love you. And you know what I think? I think you really want a big black dick in your ass.
Well, you seem pleasant. Are you married?
Was your mom married?
Are you
Because
actually,
I got a call from the doctor. She missed her fucking abortion.
You seem so sweet.
Charlie, you seem so fucking stiff and white. Do you have a stick up your ass?
There you go.
Is there something wrong with being white?
But where the party of violence?
Is there something wrong with a stick in your ass is what I'm asking. I love you, Charlie. You're the best comedian. You're the best fucking comedian on.
Do you want a hat?
You're the best one.
She wants a hat. Can you wear it?
Oh, shit.
Flesh and bone, but more importantly, I'm a soul. And that soul is accountable to one being. I mean, I've had an unbelievably blessed life. Been doing this now, it'll be 12 years on June 5th.
Such a young man to do it.
So young.
Yeah, so praise God. I mean, I've been all across the world. I've met with world leaders. I've flown in Air Force One, got to know a president. I have an amazing family, the podcast, Turning Point USA, all that stuff. And so you experience that and you're like, what actually matters? What matters is your relationship with the divine, your relationship with your family, your kids, and maybe a close collection of friends, and your relationship with the truth. I'm just
It just saddens me to keep looking at this shit. So, guess we'll end it here. Roughly, almost 3.5 hours. Showing some love, some support. Charlie Kirk, who, again, was gruesomely and brutally taken from us and executed live in front of thousands of people for, simply thinking a different way and trying to talk to people. That is what happened today, and this is why I labeled this video, the stream, as our friend Charlie Kirk has passed away. Today will be the day that changed everything. And you mark my words. You remember this day. Because, as I said, there are now millions of Charlie Kirk carbon copies, if you will, that are going to be flooding every outlet you can imagine. So he will forever live on because he has already touched so many lives. And like one of that video showed before, a young black man breaking down, just upset, you know, felt like he knew him, but he never met him, you know, and he was just incredibly saddened by what happened. So just as that man said, like, you know you're a good man, you know you did a good job, you're a good American, when you have people who you literally never met who are just in shock right now. And that's why, again, I say, it may take a couple of days, maybe a week or two for the dust to settle, but the beast has been woke. And I promise you, these people are not ready for the million man and woman army that is coming for them every moment of every day of every month of every year until they lose the last breath in their body. They will now continue to fight and push forth this man's message. So, we technically lost a great one today, but we have gained millions of people just like him to take his place. And as we say, however dark the cloud, there's always a silver lining. That's the silver lining I'm looking at. And, you know, they fired first. And they always say, whoever shoots first loses. So I am ready, pursuant to the Second Amendment. Well-regulated militia is fully in force from coast to coast, from top to bottom now, I can imagine. Probably just within the last few hours. Teams have been assembled, probably. So, hopefully, it doesn't get too extreme. But if it does, I'm prepared. And I'll end it there. Once again, God rest his soul. Prayers out to Charlie Kirk, his family, his friends. And we'll end it there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Have a good evening.